Now, there's been a lot of buzz building up to BioShock's release, but now the roar is absolutely deafening. I mean, with the shooter scoring near-perfect reviews from almost every publication, is this, in fact, the game of the year?
The most highly rated Xbox 360 game to date is finally in stores today. BioShock by 2K Games made huge waves on the internet last week after being sold early by Toys R Us in a supposed street date mix-up. The first-person shooter accumulated stellar online reviews across the board, with most giving the game some of the year's highest ratings. The revolutionary game, set in a hidden underwater city, boasts numerous inventive gameplay tactics and a compelling original storyline that sets it apart from this year's many sequels. However, some say that the game's lack of online support hurts its chances to become the next Gears of War, and that Halo 3 will likely leave the game in its multiplayer dust. Will BioShock become the best game of the year, or has the internet blown this one out of proportion? Don't forget the disinfectant. It's the Loop.
All right, my guest tonight, the genetically enhanced co-host for X-Play, the astute Mr. Adam Sessler is here, and senior editor for gaming at Penthouse Magazine, Rebecca Swanner, is here as well. Welcome to The Loop, everybody.
Hello, Kevin.
BioShock hit store shelves today, online reviews across the board. I mean, we just said it, they've already ranked it the best 360 game of all time. Rebecca, did they get it right?
I think they did. It's one of the best games I've played all year. I think there does have some issues, but I think overall it's got everything you want in terms of graphics, storyline, and gameplay.
What are the issues here, Rebecca? Because everybody's, I keep seeing these reviews. They're shaving off, 0.3 of a perfect score. What problems have you encountered with it?
I haven't encountered any real problems in the game itself. What I have encountered is the fact that it doesn't have any multiplayer, which leaves me, it's saying that it has a lot of replayability, but I'm not one of those people who plays a game, then goes back and starts all over from the beginning, to find everything else I didn't find the first time around.
Sure. Adam, what do you think sets this game apart from other first-person shooters out there, aside from the fact that it's lacking multiplayer?
Yes, there's a lot more going for the game than lacking multiplayer. What you have is a game that takes some very familiar things, the first-person shooter, using things that aren't weapons and having the powers, and puts it all together with this absolutely amazing story and environment so that the whole experience of the game does not feel like anything I've ever played for, and it's something that you really want to luxuriate in. There are many times I've died just because I'm sort of in awe of where I am. There's like a forest under the ocean inside of this game. It's really just, it feels so mature, and it feels very next gen for the first time.
Sure. I think what's cool is that there's so many areas that you want to explore. I get really lost, I stop playing, the actual storyline and just want to keep going exploring little areas and finding out new items, and later you can start crafting your own weapons, which gets really cool.
Now, if the game is so good, and apparently it is, I've been playing it, I love it as well. We've got 3 fanboys in the Loop today, apparently, but where was the hype for it? It seems now it has this huge online presence, Adam, but, how much of that was traditional marketing, and how much was word of mouth, and where was it 3 months ago?
Well, Ken Levine had been talking about how at one point this was a little game that couldn't. Many a publisher turned it down, and I think many of them are kicking themselves in the ass for doing that. This game, I think, was such a hard sell in the beginning, and I think even when 2K had it, they were a little bit unsure of how do you talk about an Ayn Rand-based game in an underwater city that has big daddies and little sisters. It may be a tough sell, but thankfully the internet knows how to put hype behind just about anything.
Right, and I think hardcore gamers really got behind it, and were hyping it that way via word of mouth. But I think, maybe 2K was scared to put their dollars behind something that wasn't maybe a sure thing.
Sure. Now, Rebecca, do you think, great reviews are one thing, internet hype is another. Is that going to translate into sales for this game?
I think it definitely will. I don't think it'll beat Halo 3, but I think once more people play the game and more people get on those forums and start talking about how amazing this game is, I think the sales will really go up. 2K's stock today just went up.
Sure. Well, of course, we're seeing, amazing reports of people having a great time on forums across the internet, but on the widescreen gaming forum, people are reporting that both the PC and the Xbox versions of the game actually stretch the standard size image. Essentially, they're chopping off large portions of gameplay so that it'll stretch on a high-def monitor. Adam, do you think some gamers, they're screaming mad about this issue. They claim they're canceling the pre-orders. Is it really that big of an issue?
All right, I don't want to sound like Casper Weinberger talking about Abu Ghraib, but it's not that big a deal, okay? really, you're not losing that much on the top or bottom. I've been playing the game and never once kind of craned my neck to see what was above or below me. I think it's a little bit unfortunate that somehow it got out, and it sounds so much worse than what it is because I've had a blast playing this game with that actually being there.
I think it's a bummer, though, that you don't get to see, for example, your character's tattoo. You miss little details of the game. But I know that I was reading the forums, just earlier today, and 2K has been talking about trying to fix the problem.
Rebecca, do you think we'll see a fix on the 360 side of things early? Will we see them on the PC and the 360 at the same time? Who's going to be more upset here is what I'm getting at. Because someone always seems to get left out when it's a multi-platform game and someone takes it very personally.
It feels like the PC is the group who's getting a little left behind this time. They got, sort of the shaft with the getting the demo early. Right. And now I think, maybe they'll be nice and get the PC their patch first. But I think I agree. I think the PC is probably going to be the first to.
Adam, is the 360 the console to play this game on?
Well, it's the only console to play it on. Now, we did get best graphics at E3 to BioShock on the PC because, assuming you have the rig that can really do it, the game looks even sharper and prettier. But given the fact that you would have to drop a few $1,000s into a machine to do that, you have a beautiful game on the 360.
All right, final word. Is the game of the year on store shelves today, keeping in mind what we have coming out in the next few months? It's okay to postulate. Rebecca, what do you think?
I think it might be, but I think it's going to have. I think in terms of sales, as I said, I don't think it's going to beat Halo. But in terms of a great innovative game, I think its main contender is going to be Mass Effect.
Adam, your thoughts?
You know what? I would need to see Mass Effect, Call of Duty 4, and even Halo 3 before I can make that call safely.
But no one should be upset or ashamed to not go out and get it. They should absolutely pick up this game.
Go get it now.
All right, perfect. That's rave reviews across the board. I want to thank my guests, Adam and Rebecca, for keeping us in the loop.
Attack of the Show, weeknights at 7, only on G4.